But in his dreams, he's actually an artist. Wow. He sleep draws. He sleep draws these gorgeous portraits, all of which he has no recollection after. So if you Google his name, it's Lee Hadwin. And he's been tested and they've watched him. And yeah, while he's sleeping, he draws these things. So I think it's pretty amazing.
The story, too, it says there was a man who drove 22 miles and he killed his cousin while sleepwalking. And how is this even possible?
He drives 22 miles while sleeping. How? Yeah. How is that?
But you can be, that's like half in one realm and half in another.
I guess. Or maybe something took his body over.
You're in one realm, well, maybe. You're in one realm enough to be conscious of how to drive and what to do. And spiritually, I don't know.
Maybe it was a possession. You never know.
Yeah. A sleepwalker who walked out of a window from the 3rd floor barely survived.
That's got to happen a few more times than...
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it...
You only do that so many times.
Nice.
I'd be moving to the ground level, baby.
There was one lady that we had, and I don't remember the case or anything, but I do remember that she had told me on the phone that her son sleepwalked so much that they had to put straps on him to his bed because they were nervous.
Because they didn't know where he's going to go or fall into or...
Yeah, and they did find him
Yeah.
one night. It was like 6 a.m, and he was walking down the street. They didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
So at that point, so you just never know.
And they say you're not really supposed to wake somebody up.
Yeah.
Now I think because you could actually put them in shock.
Right.
And I actually remember one time I was actually probably 13, 14 years old, and I sleptwalked quite often. And it was usually to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Never recall. I know a lot of people just get this thing. Right. It worked out perfect. Somehow I made a wrong turn. I ended up behind my parents' door. And, it startled them too. And he turned on the light and he yelled, "Scott!" And I just started screaming. Oh. I didn't have a clue as how I got there.
Did they start screaming?
Everybody's screaming now. It's like, what the... It was nuts. But, yeah, I was just absolutely petrified at that moment. Because it's like... I had no idea how I got there.
What about that one time that you said I wrote in the mirror? Would that be considered sleepwalking?
No, in your case, no. That was...
Well, it could have been a spiritual... it's a spiritual thing, but...
It was... Yeah, but I see that way more as something really separate and spiritual.
Yeah, that could be.
Because you were definitely... I don't know how to explain it. Your eyes were open.
Oh,
you
my
were
eyes
walking.
were open.
You were talking. Not to me, but you were talking. And
I got up out of bed.
You wouldn't answer me at all.
And
I wasn't even there. But you were communicating.
It was something.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then I took lipstick, and I wrote a scripture or something on the mirror.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that would be sleepwalking or not. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Could be.
But there's an example. We talked about how this thing, that guy does pictures and stuff. You were eyes open, communicating, writing, but you had no recollection of it all.
No.
In fact, I had to wait till you... I tried to wake you up the entire time, and it wasn't going to happen. Because I didn't know what you were doing because your eyes were open. When somebody's sleeping, you think they should look like they're sleeping, but you didn't. You were wide awake. And I'm like, Heidi, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? Where are you going? Why are we doing this? And nothing. And you were just like, yes, okay, talking to somebody. You wrote this down in the mirror, and you went straight back into the bed, right back underneath the covers, and went back to sleep and started snoring again. And I'm like...
No, wait, I wasn't snoring.
Yeah, you were.
I wasn't snoring.
Yeah, you snort, you do all those things. But I'm sitting there, I'm just so confused. I'm sitting there going like, what just happened? I just could not figure this out. I'm like, what? Hey, Heidi, I'm shaking her. Hey, what did you do? Why'd you do that? And then you woke up and you're like, what? I said, you did all these things, and you're like, no, I didn't. Didn't believe me until I could get to the bathroom and said, look what you did.
Oh yeah, because I wrote in the bathroom.
Right,
and it was the name of it was like Psalm something, and the scripture was about fighting darkness or something. Yeah, really interesting.
It was really interesting.
In fact, they're going to talk about that on that episode of the paranormal show we're going to be on.
Yes.
That should be coming on probably next month. I'm assuming they said the fall, so we'll find out. We'll let you guys know so you can see.
We'll let you know
because they actually are going to reenact it and everything. So,
whoa, they were there?
No, they're going to reenact it.
But they weren't there.
But we told them about it.
But they weren't there.
Oh, my God. Anyways,
I was there.
Here's some facts about dreaming. Okay, do you know you can't read or tell time in a dream? Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
Not everyone dreams in color. The average person dreams 2 hours a night. That's crazy. Blind people, not born blind, dream normal. But people who are born blind don't see anything at all. They still dream, but they involve the other senses besides sight. And it's very intense as well. Isn't that interesting? And everyone dreams. We just don't remember it. So,
wow.
Isn't that cool?
I mean, that whole being blind from the start. It's like you dream, but
you don't see images.
Yeah, you have no images in your head.
Yeah. You got to have something. Maybe we just don't understand it because they don't.
Wow.
I know what I'm saying.
Whoa.
So here's some common dreams. There's this thing online, and I didn't get this from that, but I noticed that there's this thing online, Dream Moods A to Z Dictionary. It'll explain what your dreams mean. Got to be real careful with what you see. That just because it's online,
like
doesn't
some
mean it's
author
real.
has all the answers. Yeah. Okay, right, sure.
But there's common dreams that we all have. There's falling. Okay, it's not true if you dream that you're falling and you hit the ground, you're gonna die. Yeah. So
I've actually died in a dream.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. And I'll never forget this dream because it was very, let's say, surreal.
Yeah.
And I can actually remember leaving my body, looking down at myself, ashamed that I died so early or easily.
That's weird.
I'm like, really? That's all it took? You wimp?
Oh,
yeah.
That's a weird dream.
Yeah. It was very real. I as I speak about it, and this was probably 25 years ago, I remember it clearly.
Well, there's a little thing saying that if you fall in your dream and you hit the ground, you're going to die. That's not true, though. So, but falling in a dream, they say, is a red flag from your subconscious that something in your life is going the wrong way. Finances, a relationship, career. But I say this is when your spirit's coming back into your body. Or your spirit's floating around in the spirit realm. Yeah. That's what I think. But, who knows? Being chased. Have you ever dreamt about being chased?
Yeah.
By who? Megan Fox.
Happens.
They say that when you dream that, you're running from something in your life. So, and those are so in general. I mean,
plenty of times me and Steven Tyler had to do some serious running.
Bets. But I think that when you're chasing, I say that something might be chasing you for real.
Like a dog?
No, I mean spiritually.
A werewolf?
A spiritual dog. Spiritual werewolf.
Sure.
Hound from hell. No.
Yeah.
Teeth falling out.
Ill.
They say that your words are impacting negativity in some way. So that seems pretty... My mom used to say that I think you knew this too, if your teeth are falling out in your dream, that you're going to be sick. My mom used to say that. And it has held true, so I don't know, it's sort of weird. But now I always recommend that you keep a sleep journal. If you're a dreamer, like our daughter is, we bought her a journal.
Yeah, we do have one daughter that is a extreme spiritual dreamer.
Yeah, she'll have
2-3 times a week, she'll have a dream that it's extremely symbolic.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
They're crazy. And her boyfriend is starting to have dreams like crazy, too. They're very neat. So when you're keeping a sleep journal, they're pretty sure that dreaming happens in the same part of your brain where short-term memory is stored, okay? Which would make sense. That's why I barely dream. But
and you have a long-term memory, but your short-term memory is horrible.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
It's weird.
We're not even.
That's why I have short-term memory loss.
We're not even teasing.
So if you do keep a journal, which I totally recommend people do, anything that you can remember, immediately write it down. Yeah, even if it's a word, if it's a thought.
Because even without that, I mean, there's many times we've woken up and you're like, I'd like to remember this dream today and think about this dream today and contemplate it in my mind and focus on it a little bit. And you're so sure that you're going to remember it. And then by the time breakfast is over, you're like, what was it? Yeah.
Or by the time you fall back asleep and wake back up, you're like. So if you keep it next to your bed and just, jot something down.
That would be a good place since that's probably where you dreamed.
Maybe. You never know. Always put down the times you wake up so that that's when you wake up from your dream.
I recommend you have a clock near your bed. It's going to help you identify these times.
Always write down whether or not you feel rested when you wake up in the morning.
Write down exactly how you feel physically.
If you get new aches or pains that you didn't feel the night before.
Are you kidding me?
I
need a recording device for all this.
This is for spiritual dreams, though, not for your work all day. Write down feelings or thoughts, or if you have any bruises or marks on your body. Because once you start putting these things down and you start comparing and contrasting.
It's like a puzzle, you know?
Yeah, it starts coming in together.
For us, dreams are one of the most overlooked communications that God gives us.
Yeah.
We have all this communication from God, and we just don't understand it. And sometimes it's just because we can't put it together.
Right.
In our heads, and that's a lot of times that's my case. I just I'll wake up, I'll know that what I dreamt was important. Symbolically, somehow. And I can't put it together.
You need a sleep journal.
I need a sleep journal. Could you imagine me trying to wake up and write anything?
No, I can't, actually. You'd probably wake me.
I can spell library. Would you imagine what my article would look like?
That'd be interesting. You have little pictures. You have a picture book dream journal.
You've seen me draw, right?
Yeah. Stick figure. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Numbers 12:6 says this, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream. That's Numbers 12:6. In Job 33:15 through 17, in a choking dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, and slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of man, and sealeth their instruction. So here we have two scriptures basically saying, I'm going to speak to you at night when you stop thinking.
Yep.
And allow me to speak to you.
That's cool.
And I think that's what happens sometimes, too. And even I wake up and what happens, and I know I had this great dream or whatever like this, and it was like God says, yeah, now you woke up and your little physical body just took over and you just shut down all my information. But it's still in there.
Yeah.
And it may be of use.
Later on
down the road.
Yeah,
you know, that's the same. It's the same common thing with speaking in tongues, and we're not going to go into all that right now. But in speaking in tongues, you're speaking to God, with God. The spirits are speaking together. Doesn't mean you'll understand it. Same thing in the dream world. You won't always understand what's going on, but it does something.
God's more complex.
It's kind of like taking a medication. You look at it, it's just a little white pill, and you're like, really, what's that going to do? That might be an antibiotic that might just save your life. It don't look like much. Very small, not a whole lot to it. But what's in it? Same thing with a dream or anything like that. It's like there's a lot to it. You just don't understand it all, how it mixes with your body.
Ooh, I like that.
I know, I said one of them deep moments. I have one a week, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of our words are given the greatest... a lot of our words, oh my gosh. A lot of our world's greatest inventions... But our words too, I guess you could say. But the discoveries by dreams, there's so many. You can Google them and find out a lot of the things that we have in our society have come from people's dreams. I only put down some of them just because there were so many. But the idea for Google came from a dream. The co-founder, Larry Page, had a dream about Google.
Larry Page on Google?
A little irony there. James Watson came up with the concept of DNA, the whole spiral helix thing, through a dream.
What?
That's crazy. That's complicated. Periodic table, which I won't use because the whole periodic table is too confusing. But Dmitri, I don't know, some German guy or something, or Russian. Yeah. He came up with the periodic table through dreams.
Periodically?
Yeah, periodically. So, but how would you know that dreams are from God? Well, first of all, God's not going to give you a negative dream, like something that's scaring you or frightening. He's not going to put you in sleep paralysis. So none of those are from God ever. But the images will linger if it's from God, and you won't be able to get it out of your mind. Like, you'll constantly be wanting to know about it, thinking about it. Emotions are strongly affected, and we get this feeling that there's more to know. So God will give warning. He'll give prophecy.
Prophetic nisisms. Confirmation. People pray for them.
Yeah.
Pray for confirmation. Understanding.
That's what you got to do.
Yes, that's what you got to do. What if it's not from God? Anything that was about or leaves you in fear, anger, paranoia, sadness, 3 a.m. stuff, which we hear about all the time.
That's all the devil.
Yeah, he's there too.